How's it going, Dave?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Some of the mental health things that I thought about was, okay, on Wall Street, it is brutal. Is there even the term self-care involved? And what does it look like?
If you expose your vulnerability as you are kind of in that middle bulge trying to ascend the corporate ladder, frankly, it can be used against you. And not even so much by your boss, although they're ultimately the one that has to decide whether you ascend, but really by your peers. Other people that might be competing against you for those roles may point out, look, all things being equal, I'm not as much of a basket case as the other guy. I do know for a fact, having worked in lots of different industries, that people do practice self-care, but they're very quiet about it. They practice it behind closed doors with therapists they don't admit to have, or they engage in substance abuse, drugs, things, other coping mechanisms that help them get through a lot of the challenges and the stress of the industry.
There's a lot of cultural aspects where many of us are told to put our heads down, don't rock the boat, don't make waves. And so, but that clearly many times is inconsistent with what the corporate world or the organization needs. So as an Asian American male, how are you able to kind of navigate those waters when you clearly stuck out in this majority white corporate culture?
It's so first I'll say it's hard, right? And I think, frankly, that's why we have this metaphor or descriptor of bamboo ceiling, right? Mm-hmm. It happens so often that an author created a term for it. But even most recently, there's a great research report done by Harvard Business School in 2018, which wasn't that long ago, where they said that Asian Americans are the least likely to be promoted of any ethnic category. Right. And so the data shows that Asian Americans do encounter some form of ceiling.
You've been in a long, hopefully wonderful marriage and have kids. So how did that come about? And how did you balance this demanding career with finding a life partner?
I have a philosophy, which is that I don't think you should rely on your partner to fill any holes in your life. I think that if you rely on your partner to, I think the cliche is to make yourself whole. I think that's where you can get in trouble, because I do think that over time people change, and I think people's priorities change. And if you're looking for your life partner to fill some hole in you, then inevitably at some point they're not going to be able to do that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Dave. I really appreciate you, and I'm sure there'll be many years of fun discussions together.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for listening to the Color Success Podcast. Listen, like, subscribe on all major streaming platforms, YouTube, IG, and if you want exclusive content, you can join our Patreon. All links can be found at colorofsuccesspodcast.com.